Afternoon. Never home, but always repping. Yeah, shout out to Ole Miss football. You know what it is. Okay, you see the title. It's Ty Sports Picks 24, but today's title is Monday Night Football. Eagles versus Falcons. It's the bird game. Yeah. Week 3 Monday Night Football. Before we get to that game, let's get to the picks. So Monday Night Football, you already guessed it. We got the home Philadelphia Eagles. Throw that down, Ole Miss Rebel and A.J. Brown. I still feel like Saquon Barkley, along with Jalen Hurts on the ground, along with you got Dallas Goedert at tight end, going along with Devontae Smith. That should be enough to beat the Falcons because the Falcons are great in their secondary, not so great in the linebacking core. I feel like Saquon could be a matchup nightmare as far as catching it out of the backfield, running it up the middle, doing that read option with him and Jalen Hurts, then throwing to Devontae Smith that he's not as much of a downfield threat. He's more of a yak guy, a slant, drag routes, the dig routes, you know what I mean? And they can use Dallas Goedert to open up that middle of the field. Just if they game plan well, I think Philadelphia can have an edge. But don't sleep on Kirk Cousins. Don't sleep on the tight end over there that they have for the I'm about to say Philadelphia, for the Atlanta Falcons. You got Bijan Robinson at running back. You know, you got a Drake London at wide receiver, though Drake still is coming along. But also, let's move on to the baseball. Yeah, let's move on to the hits and the strikeouts. We got the Chicago Cubs. We got the Los Angeles Dodgers. We have the Cleveland Guardians. I got it right this time. Got the Arizona Diamondbacks. We got the New York Mets. I was about to say Yankees. You know, I'm a big Yankee guy. You know. Also, we got the Philadelphia Phillies, the Pittsburgh Pirates, San Diego Padres, Kansas City Royals. And I messed up. I actually gave you guys the bonus. If you can guess what the bonus is, I'm not going to say it, but it was up on the screen. Question mark. But I am going to announce the bonus in a minute. But you should see it on the screen. All the picks are also in the description. Okay. Also, remember last week when I showed you guys that video of Coach Prime? I'm going to see if I can pull it up really quick. I showed you guys a video of Coach Prime. And he was talking to his offensive line. He was talking about how they were missing blocks during the Nebraska game. So he was in a meeting room, and he told the guys, basically, I want you to think in your head, if you miss this block, your mama won't eat. So let me bring that up for a second. Let me bring that up because that's very interesting. Because somebody was calling me not too long ago, and I was trying to tell them that I was preparing for my show. So that's very interesting. Let me see if I can get that video brought up. Give me 1 second, because, you know, we like to be funny sometimes on this show and be humorous. You know, we reference sports. So, yeah, let me bring this back up. Because shout out to Colorado. I know some big Colorado fans I was talking to, and they were really bragging. They forgot about that Nebraska game, and everything and they fresh in their mind is about how they did against Colorado State. That was talking a lot of smack. But prior to the game, in a meeting room, you see Coach Prime talking to the kids. They're in a meeting. He's basically looking at the film, and he has everybody in a team meeting room. You know, you have your individual defensive, offensive, wide receivers, quarterbacks, offensive line, running backs room. This is the team room, not the position room. He's saying it in front of the whole team, in front of everybody watching. If I don't make this block, my mama will not eat today. So the reason why I'm saying that is I got people that like to disturb me sometimes while I'm doing my show. Well, guess what? Particularly to one lady that likes to call me during my show. If I don't do my show, my mama won't eat today. So please let me do my show to the lady that continues to bother me. And also, since we're already on Instagram, let me pull up the speaking of my mama won't eat. Please donate to the show so my mama can eat. It's $TY Rebel 22. Yeah, please donate to the show. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ty Sports 24. Please donate to the show or my mama won't eat today, in the words of Coach Prime. But since we're on Instagram, we're going to go to the Instagram segment of the show. So I'm going to bring them picks back up, but I hope you wrote them down. But let's go to the Instagram because, you know, we love the gram. Shout out to Yo Gotti. So we're going to go to Instagram. Since we're already on ESPN College Football, I'll skip ahead straight to that. But we'll tie it into the NFL. Now, a lot of people are arguing about wide receiver university. is it Miami? It used to be Miami, Michael Irvin. You just had Andre Johnson going to the Hall of Fame. Miami might have the most Hall of Fame wide receivers, even though the Biletnikoff Award is actually named after Fred Biletnikoff, Florida State wide receiver. You know, so the state of Florida is known for wide receivers. The Gators not as much, but Florida State and Miami definitely. Even Randy Moss was a Florida State Seminole until he got kicked off the team. But no, long story short, Ohio State has been doing big things. But first of all, they're saying Jeremiah Smith out of I was about to say Miami, but Broward County, Chaminade High School, even though he's from Miami, they're saying he's going to be the greatest receiver to ever play at Ohio State. Chris Carter played at Ohio State, which is arguably top 5 all time. Jerry Rice, Chris Carter, Michael Irvin, T.O., Randy Moss. I don't care what y'all say. And Jerry Rice, the only one I named that I think got a ring, and Michael Irvin. So they top 2. I don't care what you say. Long story short, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., not senior, because Marvin Harrison Sr. is top 10. He probably like 6 or 7. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. He just caught 4 passes, 130 yards for not 1, but 2 touchdowns this Sunday. Then you got Jackson Smith and Jigba had 12 catches, 117 yards, but no touchdowns. Then you got Chris Olave, 4 catches, 81 yards. So he's the runt of the dog pack. Then you got Garrett Wilson, 4 catches, 57 yards. I apologize. He's the runt, even though he's the big name. Because up to this point, I know Marvin Harrison probably going to pass them, but up to this point, I would grade them Garrett Wilson. Then I would go Chris Olave. Then I would go Marvin Harrison. Then I would go Jackson Smith and Jigba. I know he caught 12 passes. He's a slot. He moves around. But Marvin Harrison is the bad boy, and I don't want to just put him at the 2 spot just yet. But let's take a look at some of their highlights. This is all of them lined up in college. Marvin was the young buck at number 18. You got Garrett Wilson. He was the older guy. Then you got Smith and Jigba and Olave. They were kind of like the middle kids. You know, I'm a middle kid, so I know how they act out. They're always the bad kid. Okay, now you got Marvin Harrison Jr., the young buck. He didn't catch many passes. I think no passes week 1. But week 2, he came back with a vengeance. You give me 4 passes, I'm going to score twice. I bet you throw the ball to me now because his quarterback was like, oh, he a rookie. He got to earn it. He got to get open. Was he open? Was he open? He was open, baby. And I know we on Instagram, but I'm going to bring them pics back up for the people that know them thirsty bettors, you know, in case you just showed up to the show. But we're going to get one more Marvin Harrison highlight. Junior, not senior, because he's not better than his dad. People saying he's better than his dad. You're not better than Chris Carter. You're not better than your dad until you go out there and prove it. Potential is a curse word when you're a grown man. I don't know where they get this from, where they judging guys off of potential. No. It's off of production. Okay, now we got Jackson Smith and Jigba with the main man out of South Florida, Geno Smith. I played against him in high school. He's been raw since Miramar High. Shout out to Geno Smith. Big time baller. Okay, so Jackson Smith and Jigba, you know, he catching little short passes. He getting a little yak, you know. He 10-yarding them to death because he had 12 catches and he got 117. So he's averaging about 10 yards a catch, a little over, you know. But he's a reliable guy, slot guy. He's big to be in the slot. But you know, Larry Fitzgerald kind of started that. You know, Charles Woodson started the big slot corners, and Larry Fitzgerald started the big slot wide receivers. So you don't have to be a short guy to play in the slot. Okay, now we got Chris Olave for the Saints that tore my Dallas Cowboys up. But it's always another Sunday. So please leave Michael Irvin alone. I've seen people teasing Michael Irvin. Leave Playmaker alone, man. 88 out the gate. Okay, so now let's move on to Garrett Wilson, the big dog out of the pack. Even though Aaron Rodgers wasn't able to find him as much as he'd like because everybody knew he was throwing to him. So you got to spread the ball around. You see him putting on the spin move. He's definitely using that BR, that circle button on the PlayStation controller in real life. You know, catch the tackle. So they're focusing in on Garrett Wilson. He's not a secret anymore. So now he's going to have to get a little bit better with dealing with double coverage. But shout out to the Jets to get the win. I know you're saying you're a Dolphin fan. How are you rooting for the Jets? Well, you know, I have my reasons. Okay, also in college football news, Quinn Ewers, quarterback, has an ab injury. A lot of people are like, they never heard of that. You can have injuries to your abs. I don't know if he ate something bad or had too many sit-ups. People were making jokes talking about, oh, your stomach hurt. No, he got an ab injury. I don't know, but it says he has an ab injury, and it says it isn't as serious as initially feared. I think it is serious, but he saw that his backup quarterback came in and scored 5 touchdowns, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. So he's like, I got to come back and get my job back because Peyton Manning's nephew is his backup. And you know the Manning family, they'll take over a program. It says he's likely to miss the Louisiana Monroe game this week. I think I actually got in. I played against Louisiana Monroe on special teams when I was at Ole Miss. You know, everybody got their jokes, but y'all ran down on the kickoff. Okay, it says, but he's week to week after leaving the UTSA game with Steve Sarkisian, the head coach, termed as an abdominal strain. So he strained his abdominal. Now, that's Peyton Manning's nephew. He's Archie Manning. Think of Peyton Manning if he can run. This kid can actually run, so that's dangerous. So now the AP poll has Texas jumping over Georgia. Texas is now #1 in the country, followed by Georgia, followed by Ohio State, followed by Alabama. That's tough because the #4 team might actually be the #1 team. Then you got Ole Miss at 5. Always, never home, but always repping, baby. You know? Okay, then we got Tennessee at 6. We got Missouri at 7. Then we got the U at #8. Then we got Oregon at 9, and then Penn State at 10. Okay, so now this is a picture of this is Cooper Manning, the brother that played at Ole Miss, but he got an injury. He had to stop playing. This is the mom. I'm not sure the mom's name, but shout out to you, mom, because you produced a great son, a great Manning. And then this is Archie Manning in the middle. Definitely got his speed from mom, Cooper says. Yeah, because Cooper and the brothers were slow. Well, Cooper wasn't slow. Cooper played wide receiver. His brothers were slow. Okay, so this is the run, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So this is why Quinn Ewers is scared to lose his job. But Quinn Ewers, just take your time. I know people that's out with injuries. You don't want to rush it back. You need to get that abdominal straight. You got to eat right. You got to do what the trainers tell you. Do not try to rush yourself back because you're afraid that you're going to lose your job to Archie Manning. If you lose your job to Archie Manning, transfer from Texas to Texas Tech or Texas A&M or Texas State. There's so many Texas schools. Texas might have more schools than Miami. Than Florida. Florida got FIU, FAU. We got South Florida, Central Florida, Florida State, Florida Gators, Miami Hurricanes. Y'all got a lot of teams in Texas too. So do not get yourself hurt trying to keep up with this young buck because he's running 90 miles per hour and he's throwing it 90 miles per hour. You just may not be able to hang with this kid. But let's get off the college football and let's go to NFL in the honor of Monday Night Football. And remember, please donate to my channel. Please donate to my channel because if you don't donate, my mama will not eat today. Okay? So now, let's go to NFL and see what they're cooking up for Monday Night Football. This is not going to be a long show. We're on the end of this week's slate. Hopefully they'll bring up next week's slate, but we all saw the travesty with the Dolphins. By the way, with the Dolphins, they signed a local young man named Tyler Huntley. He actually played at I want to say Hollandale High School, one of those South Broward high schools close to Miami. He's now the backup to Skylar Thompson, but he might end up being the permanent replacement to Tua Tagovailoa. You better watch out because Tyler Huntley did very well and actually went to the Pro Bowl as a rookie or second-year guy when Lamar Jackson was hurt. That's why they got him up out of there. A lot of times when you're too good as a backup, they'll get you out of town. So you better watch out. Skylar Thompson was good as a rookie, but he kind of fell off. I think because they don't give backup quarterbacks enough practice reps, but it hurts you when your first quarterback gets hurt. That's why I like how San Francisco does it. Everything is competition. I don't care how good you are. We're always bringing in competition. That's how New England was. You cannot protect the guy's job to the detriment of the team. But I hope Tua gets well. He should be back in maybe a month and a half. Don't rush it back. Same thing with Quinn Ewers. But watch out for Tyler Huntley because he's a South Florida kid. He might be from Miami. I'm not sure, but I know he went to Hollandale High School, that's like Miramar High School. It's right up the road from Aaron Sugar, like how Miramar is right up the road from Kansas City. So Michael Crop, Hollandale, Kansas City High School, Miramar High School. Okay, so last night was a great game between Caleb Williams and C.J. Stroud, where the Houston Texans won. Now we got the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm picking the Eagles to win on Monday Night Football. Let's see what else was going on in the world of NFL. Okay, so now, speaking of Lamar Jackson, Max Crosby of I almost said Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders. Way to go, Max Crosby. Even though some people might be mad, South Florida, no, I don't want no smoke. Because he got on Lamar. He had 2 sacks on Lamar, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 pass deflection. So let's check out the main man, Max Crosby. He had a great story. I think he dealt with substance abuse and stuff, and he came back and became an NFL superstar. So you're seeing the tackles for loss, and that's Derrick Henry he tackling. Look at big Derrick Henry, another Florida guy. So you can't tell us that Florida ain't got the best players. We produce Tim Tebow, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Tyler Hunt. Everywhere you go is Florida guys, South Florida guys, Jacksonville guys. Come on. But right now we talk about Max Crosby. He's showing out, man. He is showing out. So shout out to the Raiders for the win. Shame on you, Ravens. You got to get it back. Okay, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I have to be real. Look at Big Cesar Ruiz, the offensive lineman, running with the running back, trying to find somebody that's slipping so he can get him a crackback block. Nobody want to run over there and tackle because they see how big that offensive lineman is. Running with this guy. Hold on, we got to give him one more. Matter of fact, you're gonna be the athlete. You're gonna be the athlete spotlight of the day. One of my spotlight athletes, because I got another young man I want to get a spotlight to if I have time. But yeah, you're gonna be the first spotlight athlete, Cesar Ruiz. And another funny thing about it, Cesar Ruiz, I feel your pain because see, he got a Spanish last name. If all y'all know I got a Spanish last name. I went somewhere today and they said my last name and I stood up and everybody was looking around like, that's your name or whatever. And I had somebody else do that to me last week. Man, please stop doing that. I know I got, some of my Chico, followers. Shout out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Habla Espanol. Shout out to y'all. But come on, man. You got Spanish, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. Y'all got to stop doing that. Because I seen the dude, he was standing right next to me. His last name was Castillo. He gave me that. He like, man, I'm glad you said that. And I was like, yeah, I dealt with that since I was a little kid. My mama black. I ain't gonna get it to my whole family thing, but you got the black Ruiz and the Castillos and the Martinez, like Damian Martinez. He's definitely black. His first name Damian. He's black, but his last name Martinez for the Miami Hurricanes, the running back. So we got to stop all that. So shout out to my Chicos. Shout out to the cornbread. Shout out to the beans and rice. Shout out to the fried chicken. We black and brown. We go together. It's all love. You know what I mean? I want peace between the people, but shout out to Cesar Ruiz for doing his thing. Okay, now let's move on. This is a sad note. My guy Isaiah Pacheco out of Rutgers University, the running back for Kansas City Chiefs, is actually going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. They're saying 6 weeks right here. We're gonna say 8. One, because I'm not a Chiefs fan, and 2, because you want to make sure he's ready for the playoffs. So don't rush this guy back. He won y'all 2 Super Bowls. That defense and the running game has really been helping Mahomes. A lot of people, they just listen to Sports Center. Mahomes. If you actually watch the games, Mahomes is doing the Tom Brady. He only throw it when it's open. If not, he check down, he throw it to the tight end, he give it to the running back. Or he running himself and slide and get down. 2, you got to start sliding, baby, or running out of bounds. Don't be trying to run people over. And 2, by the way, needs to put that weight back on. You were playing at 230, now you down like 215. No, sir. You and Lamar Jackson. First of all, stay in the pocket, stop running to it. We praying for your health. But also, put the weight back on, man. It's a reason why you got lightweight boxers and heavyweights. If you're going to play in the NFL, this is a heavyweight game. You got to put that weight on, man. Put that muscle on. You know what I mean? Okay, now they're talking about the all-time. This is Big Sean, rapper Big Sean's all-time Detroit Lions. He got Jared Goff, Calvin Johnson. He got Barry Sanders, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he has Dan Campbell as the head coach. I'm not mad at that, but where's the U, baby? Where my man Benny Blaze at, man? Do you know your Detroit Lions history? How you gonna leave Benny Blaze off the list, man? How you gonna leave the Haitian out of North Miami Beach, Louis Delmas off the list, man? That headhunter. He played for the Dolphins until he got hurt, but he was originally a Detroit Lion, man. So I hate to put Miami and everything, but we everywhere, baby. We everywhere, man. Your team ain't gonna win if you ain't got some South Florida dudes or some Florida dudes. But shout out to Big Sean, repping for Detroit. You know what I mean? Same way I'm repping for Ole Miss, he repping for the D, repping for Michigan. He said Barry Sanders is number 1 running back. Wide receiver, he got Calvin Johnson. I ain't mad at that. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Coach, he going for Dan Campbell. I definitely don't disagree. You know what I mean? So that's big time, man. But, you got to ride with my dog. He going with Jared Goff. I don't know if he taking a shot at Matt Stafford because he left. And then also, shout out to Nick Foles. Remember when Nick Foles beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl in 2017? Well, he really beat Bill Belichick because Belichick took Malcolm Butler out of the game because he had an off-the-field, discrepancy. And I still got that spotlight athlete thing up. Let me take that down, till I find another athlete. No, I take that back. We're gonna give Nick Foles his spotlight because Nick Foles was a guy that could have ended up out of the league. He came off the bench because somebody had an injury, and he ended up winning the Super Bowl, and I believe he was the Super Bowl MVP. Then he took them to the playoffs again the year after. So shout out to Nick Foles. He's a spotlight athlete. But let me go back to these picks before we end the show. So now we're gonna look at what else I want to take a look at. Let's go to JP. Let's go to JP for a second. You know, this isn't just about Instagram. This just I kind of got caught up on this today. Another guy I want to give a spotlight to, and then we're gonna move on. I don't know about. I think I already mentioned that, but I want to mention this again to all you high school and college players that NIL is there for a reason. This is a bad spotlight, but I got love for this guy because he played well. You know, he's a Samoan guy. They kind of close to the African American, quarterbacks too. Bryce Young. He was the first overall pick coming out of Alabama. If you remember, he was a Heisman Trophy winner, or a Heisman runner-up, something like that, as a redshirt freshman. I think he won Heisman. Yeah, in 21, I want to say. That year when Georgia beat them and won the national championship. But long story short, in 2023, he was the first overall, not just first round, but the first overall pick in the first round. And he went to a bad organization, the Carolina Panthers. And if you don't get an Andy Reid, if you don't get a Sean McVay, a Kyle Shanahan, some of these quarterback-friendly coaches, I like the coach up there in Minnesota or down here in Miami, Mike McDaniel, a lot of people don't realize, see, I've dealt with children before, and these are young adults still. Even I'm young, learning from my elders. When you're trying to teach something to somebody, no matter how talented they are, you have to cultivate the talent. So you got a lot of guys, they'll get with coaches, and because the player don't care like that, he think he just can live off his talent. If you don't care, the coach might not care. So this is a precautionary tale. Before you make that jump from high school to college or college to the pros, don't put it on other people. It's just like being in school. If you're a teacher and you got students, you're gonna always go out of your way for the student that studies a lot and asks a lot of questions. Well, it's the same thing with football. Don't think because you run fast, you strong, you throw a good ball, that you don't need to be taking other steps. Because I'm not saying blaming Bryce Young, but I feel like they failed you as an organization. So what you need to do is be studying. Like Baker Mayfield, he had a bounce back after what he dealt with in Cleveland and in Carolina. You see Sam Darnold for the Vikings having a bounce back after he dealt with the Jets in Carolina. Sometimes you're not going to go to the best teacher. So what you have to do as a student, whether you're a student in the classroom or a student in football, is over-prepare. So learn what the coach teaching you, but go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go everywhere you can and learn information. Like I know a young man that's dealing with an injury right now. If you watching, you need to be in the film room while you're rehabbing and learning everything you can about football, because you don't want to put it on the organization. You don't know. You might get drafted by the Commanders on Washington, or by the Arizona Cardinals or the Carolina Panthers, one of these struggling organizations, and they don't have the coaches to help you, and they lack patience. So if you lose after 1 year, they'll blame it on you and get rid of you. So it's not always important to get drafted high. It's important to get drafted in the right spot, and also to prepare and over-prepare on your own. One thing I love about my grandmother, she has a lot of intelligent kids and grandkids, but one thing about her and my cousin Kenton, I don't know if you mind mentioning your name, people like my older sister, they weren't just smart people, they studied. See, talent only gonna get you so far, but you have to study. I think it says that in the Bible to study for a good reproof or something like that. I don't want to get the misquote, and I'm not a pastor, but long story short, you want to be prepared. That way you're not leaving your destiny in the hands of a team that's not prepared to prepare you. And now you can't do your job properly and they want to blame you and move on for you. So I don't want to go long-winded by this, but I was hurt by this to see a guy get 1 year in one game, and now he may never be a starting quarterback in the league again. And of course, he's a darker-skinned person, so he may not be getting the same opportunity as some of these quarterbacks, like the guy with the Giants. He sucked for years. The guy, Will Levis, over there in Tennessee, we're going to get on that in a second. Matter of fact, let's see. I know that's on JP, I think. I said, I think. Hold on. Okay, here it goes. All right. Head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Brian Callahan, says Will Levis' turnover yesterday was dumb. And I actually watched the Tennessee and Jets game. He said that he's a grown-up and he knows better. Now, you're going to see in the comments a lot of people are disagreeing and they piggybacking off of what I say. Head coaches and quarterbacks never throw their people under the bus. But there's a difference between your mom not throwing you under the bus in front of people and you constantly being bad, so she call you out in front of your friends, or she say, I'm gonna call your dad. And I'm gonna explain that. Let me take this. Oh no, let me lead this spotlight athlete up. Okay, it says, I was upset. It was dumb. This is what the coach is saying. it was the same exact thing he did last week because he lost them the game when they had to lead 17-16 against the Bears. It says, and he cost us points in the red zone. He's a grown-up, and he knows better. It really irritates. It says, I was really irritated that he cost us 3 points in the game where we probably needed it. Now, we go to the comment section because, the comment section, they have no forgiveness. It says, people are getting mad about coach holding his quarterback accountable. But now the next person says, oh, they really fired Vrabel for this guy, Mike Vrabel, because I guess maybe Mike Vrabel didn't like him. I don't know. Because Mike Vrabel was a heck of a coach. He had them winning in Tennessee. He had free agents coming to Tennessee, and that's not the easy place to win. It's kind of in the middle of America, so a lot of people like to go to Miami, New York, L.A., Atlanta for the marketing, off the field and just for the lifestyle. But shout out to Nashville. I love Nashville. Okay. It says, bro is a second-year quarterback, and he continues to throw him under the bus. Sounds like a good coach, basically being sarcastic. Now, the thing about it is, I don't think there's exceptions to every rule. I don't think he's calling him out as much as he's just basically saying, look, like prime example, Bryce Young's not getting the chance that Will Levis got. And Bryce Young was first overall, and Will Levis was supposed to be first round, but he fell to the second round because of these same bonehead mistakes at Kentucky. He started at Penn State, went to Kentucky, which was not much of a football school, so he got away with stuff because of his talent. Will Levis is talented, but that's the problem, and that's what I'm telling you guys about studying. He thinks because he can make great throws and he can run, he can do whatever he wants to, but this is the NFL, sir. You can't be doing extra stuff instead of just sliding, getting down, and throwing the ball out of bounds. You're throwing interceptions, not because you can't read defenses, not because you can't throw, but because you think you're Brett Favre and you're trying to make something out of nothing. But what you don't know about Brett Favre is he threw the most interceptions in NFL history. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer, but he had coaches that tolerated that. Everybody's not going to tolerate you losing us games as much as you win us games. You can end up on the bench just like Bryce Young. Okay, now, this is my last thing, and we're going to get up out of here. We scroll back up. You're going to see a familiar face. Not this one, but it has something to do with Pacheco. Now, you see what I'm saying? This one, it says Isaiah Pacheco is set to miss 6 to 8 weeks because he has a fibula injury, like a fractured leg. Okay, so now, you remember this guy? Some people don't like him. Some people do. He redeemed himself with the Cleveland Browns. Kareem Hunt, as we speak, within an hour, he is being hosted on a visit. No, he said tomorrow he's going to be hosted on a visit, with the Kansas City Chiefs, which is the team he originally started with before he got into some off-the-field trouble. So that's going to be my show for today. Here go the picks again. It's Ty Sports Picks 24. And please donate to the Cash App down at the bottom, $TY Rebel 22. Remember, if you don't donate, my mama won't eat today. I know she's going to curse me out for saying that, but hey, we need people to donate to the show. This Ty Sports Picks. I hope you guys win today and get some money.